Hello,
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm Guy,
I'm Tony.
and this is A Manly Way. So we're going to try this one more time. We're actually filming
We're not giving up on this.
horizontally, and I think I figured out what I was doing wrong. So
Okay.
we're going to try it one more time, and hopefully
Hopefully
we're
it'll
not going to
show.
be sideways on your. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. So guess what I have?
He's got the list today.
I've got more questions.
Good questions, right?
Yeah, good questions. Okay. So I'm going to start right in, and I'm going to ask Tony.
Okay, what
a
are we
question.
asking today?
Well, let's see. Let's see. Nah, I don't like that one. Share a story about how you. Oh, I love this one. Share a story about how you came to love a food you used to hate. He doesn't have one.
I don't.
That's why I wanted to give him one.
The closest, and this will explain what's wrong with him. He likes canned spinach. I never have liked canned spinach. I think it's like swallowing slime, right? It's
No,
like
it's
coughing a
not.
loogie and then swallowing it again.
Because it makes you Popeye.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It makes you throw up.
No.
So the only way is I like spinach leaf, like raw spinach, like that, for
Well,
lettuce.
yeah.
That, not that stuff in a can.
Canned spinach is good. So you take canned spinach, you heat it up, you put a little vinegar.
I'm curious
salt.
how many people like this.
Well, I like it.
Okay.
So you said but what's a food that you didn't like that you now like? I'm not going to say love, that you like.
Gosh, I don't know. It's hard to say because everything I did, I tried to stay away from it.
I'm getting rid of my
What about
gum.
you?
Let
me think. Oh, that's good. You got.
I got gum everywhere.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
He likes gum.
I do.
Okay.
Gives me minty fresh.
Minty
breath.
fresh bread.
Yes.
All right. So
And
what
since
is
I
it?
have to be this close to his
Right?
mug, I
I'm
don't want to.
thankful for gum. Yes, gum is good.
Yeah. So let's see. A food that I didn't used to like
Yes.
that I love.
Yep.
I was never picky. Let's see.
I was gonna say the only thing I remember it was the canned spinach that and beets. I think because it just turned when.
Oh,
did
you know
put-
what I
Do you
still
ever
can't.
eat beets?
Yeah, I like beets.
You like beets? Okay.
So the food that I still can't eat. Okay, let's
What's
go
that?
to that.
Okay.
Okay. Food that I still can't eat is canned peas.
Oh, canned peas are all right.
No.
Yes.
They're worse than spinach.
No.
Canned peas are awful.
They're still in a solid form, kind of.
Oh no, they're not. They're.
Oh,
How do you? No. I
isn't
can't-
that funny?
Oh.
They're both canned. Like you like the spinach, and I like I can eat the peas. Canned. Yeah.
Oh man, no. You can't eat the peas. No,
Really?
dude. Seriously. No.
All right.
No.
So
I will eat. I actually.
where were you?
know-
Like, why couldn't we grow up together and like eat together? Because then you could come over to the house. I'd
Yeah.
give you all my spinach, and when I'd go over to your house,
I give you all the peas.
I would eat all the peas. No problem.
Yeah. Oh.
So-
no peas.
So that's something you still.
I can't even eat a dish with peas in it. I'll push the peas aside.
Really?
Oh, I can't do it. Except for a salad with fresh peas, the when they're really, or like, like peas in a pod. You'll
Yeah.
take them out and
Yep.
eat them.
Oh, that's
like
great.
Those.
Yeah,
I like
that's
those.
great.
But like
Right out of the garden.
canned peas,
Canned peas are good.
no,
Yeah.
dude, no.
Yes. Something.
So, okay, what's
Okay.
something else?
All right. So what about? Have you ever had? What's it called? My dad loved rice pudding.
Oh no, I can't.
That's like with raisins and rice.
or down south they had what is it called? Okra.
Yes.
No.
But I learned, like, I don't think I've had okra prepared correctly up here, like in the Northwest. But while I was down in Charleston, I went to a few places where it was prepared correctly, and it was good. Usually it's kind of slimy, right?
No, it's really slimy. Yeah.
Well, down south, everything's pretty much fried. I mean, they just throw it in, and it's good.
Fried okra.
Probably not too healthy for you.
Yeah, fried okra. Well, I can see fried okra.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you fry
Yeah,
anything.
fried ice cream,
Yeah.
everything's fried down there. As soon as you start, I forget what state it is, you start smelling cooking grease from there on south. And it's good.
Yeah.
My
Actually-
wife didn't like it, but I was like, ooh.
Okay, I'm switching.
Okay,
and
switch.
I'm not going by our list.
All right.
What is the state that you've had the best food in?
Oh, wow. You know what? Probably one of the top is New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
Because I love green chilies. They have the best there.
Okay.
If you ever go down there. And what was amazing, it's the one place we lived that you could actually, I think it was cheaper to eat out than it was to go to the grocery store and stock your house with food. I have no clue how they were able to do it, but like large dishes when you went out they were like $4 or $5.
Really?
That's usually what lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of a appetizer.
Yeah.
So I would say, and actually Charleston, I've had some of course I love seafood. Oh,
Yeah.
and you go to all you can eat.
Yeah.
So I'm a seafood guy. So probably down there was one of my favorite.
Well, my all-time favorite, I actually spent some time in New York as an insurance adjuster,
Oh,
and the food trucks in New York, just
Yeah.
the
They're pretty
street
awesome.
food.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And the pizza, well, everything. They had steak sandwiches, pizza,
Yeah.
anything anything.
Oh, yeah.
It was all.
It must be something about the big cities, because when I was in DC and I worked downtown DC and there were
Yeah.
all these high rises, food trucks were really popular, and man, there were some they were great.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, food trucks
Yeah,
and
yeah.
popular.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh!
I mean,
yeah, you'd have to wait in line
You
for
would.
a while, but it was worth it. Yeah.
Yes.
And we just don't have that much around here.
No, they're starting. The popularity of food trucks is now. When I was in Charleston, they were really. In fact, they move around as a group and they'll
Yeah.
have different places.
Yeah.
But I noticed here they're starting to get more and more.
It is in Montana. You have winter and then
And-
August.
Yes, winter, August, and winter. Yeah, winter's just
Winter.
about here again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's August.
We're gonna hit September, October, September, and we're gonna start snowing again.
Yes.
So it's tough for food trucks to really make it,
Right.
Because we're not outside that much, and that's a little tough.
Yeah.
But
Food trucks. Yeah, that's good.
food trucks. But yeah, I would say that by far,
So
what's your
New
second?
York.
So New York, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
Yeah, so for me, probably, because it's a different type of food. So New Mexico had that, the green chili and everything. Everything was in green chili burgers, everything.
Yeah,
So that it's kind of something different. And the South everything was this fried taste.
yeah.
And when I was down there, they're actually kind of shifting to a healthier side, and they're actually developing dishes down there that wasn't fried but still really good. And
Yeah.
they really pride.
Did you ever have? Did you ever go to like New Orleans?
Went through New Orleans but didn't stop.
Okay, well I've been to New Orleans a couple times, and they have some pretty amazing food. Yeah, it wasn't what I thought.
Jambalaya and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's hot, but
Yeah.
I loved it. I actually really enjoyed it, and no, there was all the seafood, all the good stuff. It was pretty amazing.
So you're a seafood guy too.
Oh, I love seafood. Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yep. And I can't get enough
That's
of it.
and that's just not something up here. I mean, they have a
No.
lot of stuff shipped in
Yeah.
overnight and stuff, but it's just I don't know. It's kind of different. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We just now
Oh.
when I went to Seattle,
Yeah.
there's good seafood in Seattle too.
Seattle. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right because I've been over to Seattle a few times
Yep.
and definitely some good food
Yeah,
there too.
a little expensive,
Yep.
but
So like the Northwest is kind of everything's a little bit more plain up here. The
yeah.
food,
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So
Not as much
I
spice.
actually talked to a guy that used to be a chef and he moved here,
Yeah.
and he's like, just everything is bland,
Yeah.
but we're kind of bland people.
Maybe
We're just gonna. I mean,
Is it because it's frozen here half the time?
yeah.
Oh.
I think we just. Yeah. Yes. I do.
That's
I think-
because it was ironic. I was just talking to my mom and she was talking about different foods, and I come to, because everything was always bland, and come to find out that's she to this day doesn't like any kind of spicy food at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I was raised, and so when I left home and started eating with different people in restaurants and stuff, I had a hard time because there was this. But it didn't take long.
You didn't like it.
It didn't like it, but then all of a sudden, man, I was like, wow, food tastes wrong if you don't have some kind of seasoning in it,
Yeah.
spice.
Well, I was like that with beer too, because I grew up in, I just, I guess Bud Light or a light beer or
Yeah.
Budweiser, whatever.
Right.
And then I got in the military and I went overseas, and I found out how good a good like Guinness.
Uh-huh.
I was in London and I had some Guinness and I was like, oh my goodness, it was like a pork chop in every blast. It was
I
amazing.
know, it's so thick and heavy. It's just like,
It was amazing. And once I started doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go back to just drinking white beer. No. And now
they're everywhere.
Thank goodness we have now these
Locally here.
microbreweries and all this stuff that have good beer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a huge beer drinker, but when I do, I don't drink beer all the time, but when I do, I have a dark beer.
There you go. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so let's see. Do you want to answer one more question?
Okay, one more and then
One more, and then we have to go back to work. Tell me one. Okay, review. No, tell me
food
one
story while traveling.
Yeah, tell me about traveling. Tell me a food story while traveling.
Wow. I remember, actually, I think we were down in the Austin, Texas area.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it was just, we just couldn't find a restaurant. And it was interesting because we were traveling around. And you know how it is when, I don't know if any of you have traveled much, but if you're new to an area and you haven't taken the time to kind of check ahead where you should go, and I'm notorious for that, I'm just like, let's just go. And we arrived there.
Yes, he is.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I get there and I realized that I got there at rush hour traffic. And I didn't realize how bad rush hour traffic is in Austin. I mean, it's like hours before you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and then you have to pee.
And then, yes. And
You
especially,
always got to pee. And you're like, where do
now
we go?
what do we do?
Yeah.
Yes. So I think what it was, we wound up actually going to some motel or something like that along the way, or I think it was a coffee shop. And our whole meal was like some crackers or something. So that really made me a believer, so along with my daughter, because she was celiac, we really started emphasizing packing snacks with us. Because if you at least can snack, you're not starving, right?
Yeah.
When you go somewhere, so you're not eating all this junk food or whatever it is.
Well, and you know, Sophie, or my daughter is Sophie, and Sophie being type 1 diabetic, you can't just stop and grab anything.
No.
You have to really think about what you're getting.
Yep.
So we've just gotten used to packing a cooler full of food that she can eat.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
It's easier. Now we still stop and we still get stuff, but it's not our main. I mean, we got to keep your blood sugar leveled out, so
Yeah.
we've got to think ahead a little bit more.
Right.
When I was younger, I didn't think.
Oh,
ahead.
no.
No, I was like,
And I didn't need much to eat, but then when
No.
I did find some place, I would eat a lot. So,
yes, yeah.
not a big deal. But when you have a family,
I got one more question.
okay,
Speaking of traveling,
how
far have you driven without stopping?
Oh, wow.
Long ways back.
Very long ways. Probably 24 hours straight.
From where to where?
That would have been coming from the East Coast out to Montana.
Yep.
Yep. And then I finally just couldn't go anymore. Stopped, and then got some about 2 or 3 hours rest, and then drove back up here to the Northwest.
Yeah.
How about you?
Same thing.
Really?
I was on the New Jersey Turnpike, and I blew the motor in my vehicle, and so it was dead, and they wouldn't give me a lot of money for it. So and it would take way too long to fix, and I was living in Montana, so I sold my car for a few $100 and put everything I had into a little rental car, and I drove straight from New Jersey to Montana.
Right.
And I stopped in Chicago for a nap.
Yeah.
It was about an hour and a half nap, and then I just drove the whole way.
Because that's like all the way from there. Here's probably, I know Charleston was like about, DC was around 2,800 miles.
Yeah,
like it's a long
it's a
drive.
long way.
But
Yeah.
I love driving. I mean, it actually didn't burn me out. I'd probably do it again, but yeah, great. So what kind of
I tell
vehicle
you
was
what,
it?
we need to do that as a team.
We should do
We
that.
just
That'd be
drive
fun.
across country
Yeah.
as a team, and we won't record the whole thing. We won't
Right.
bore you on that, but we'll give you updates as we
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna. Now that we're older and wiser, we probably won't do it in one stretch.
Probably not.
No, now I am like a monster. I can go and go and go until about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
It's like, retire the monster.
Yeah, it's like
Monster's tired.
I'm like, I can't go anymore. But I'm great at 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
So It's
So
just,
one last question: what vehicle was it that you drove across? I can still remember my little Nissan
well,
Sentra.
I drove
hatchback.
I drove over there in a Chevy. Oh, was it? It was a minivan. Because I had all my. I was an insurance adjuster.
That's right.
And so I had a little minivan that I would work out of.
Yeah.
And then on my way back, I blew the motor, so I drove back in a rental car. And it was small. I couldn't believe I got my
that's
ladder
what I
and
mean,
everything in
right?
it. Yeah.
You had all those. For me, it was a little Nissan Sentra hatchback. So everything I owned in DC for 7 years.
Nissan Sentra hatchback, everything you owned.
Yes.
Could you imagine us putting everything we
No.
owned in one place?
No, my Nissan Sentra would fit on a trailer that I would pull it with everything I owned.
Yeah.
It would be tough.
Yeah. But I will say that we have pared down what we.
Yes.
Tony actually sold everything he had at one point.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's only been 6 years ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been very long.
5-6 years ago. He sold everything he owned and moved his family to Charleston, South Carolina.
Prior to that, though, it was doing some missions work all the way around the United States.
Yeah.
In a minivan. Everything we had owned was in a minivan.
So he's a nut.
Yeah, I'm whacked. But
And his kids still like him.
I know it. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. I don't know, man.
I don't get it.
So anyhow, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. So
Appreciate you guys tuning in, Adam and Carrie.
Carrie, if you have any questions, if you want us to answer a question or a topic, just
Absolutely.
let us know, and we can blather on about anything.
That's right.
So let us know, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do next.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds
We
good.
already have some questions for tomorrow.
Yep.
And we may get to them, or we may have something else.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. I'm Tony.
I'm Guy, and this is Mentally Way.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.